And here we are, guys. Cloud Kingdom is the map, and down at the bottom left part of it, we have our teal, or sort of like seafoam color, Protoss player from the team SlayerS. He is the new kid on the block. His name is Arthur, and he is a powerful aardvark, or anteater. What was he at the kids' show? Was he a
I know what you're talking about.
He was in books first,
I think he was an anteater, so because he had the long snout, so I'm assuming.
I'm gonna go.
Maybe it's not though.
I'm gonna go with aardvark.
Okay.
Tweet at us, tweet at GoSudoa, tweet at Kevin Naki, let us know, aardvark or anteater. Anyway, top right part of the map, we have a very strong Zerg player. Kind of was in a bit of a slump. We didn't see a lot from him for a while, but he is back with a vengeance. It is IGNProLeague.
Back with a vengeance.
A vengeance,
Must
indeed.
like Bruce Willis and Die Hard, but...
you know, I was talking to Axlive about LosirA actually yesterday,
yeah.
And one of the funny things that we kind of were discussing was that one of the reasons why LosirA is winning a lot more, and especially in like ZVT, seems to be because the metagame has kind of circled around to the style, to favoring the style that he likes to play in the matchup. He used to just win with huge, ridiculous amounts of banelings, and that actually works really well with the way Terrans play right now. So yeah, I mean, so that's I think that's definitely helping him get some wins. His Zerg vs Protoss was always a little bit weaker, but against an unproven player like Arthur, it's a good kind of a good way to start out. So we'll have to see what happens with this game. I don't really know which way to call the match, but game one, I would say you got to give a little bit of an edge to LosirA.
Yeah, but Arthur does have that wild card going for him.
That's true.
And looks like he's going to open up pretty conservatively himself. He does decide to pylon block over at his opponent's natural. Nothing out of the ordinary, though, from LosirA, and it is going to be Nexus first for Arthur. So playing that Forge Expand style, but dropping down that Nexus first and making sure his economy is nice and secure. Nexus
on 17 even. He's going way into the heavy economy openings here. And LosirA, oh man, he sent a drone over to build his third base first, but he decided to come back and try to do it after the pylon got canceled, and he got blocked even longer, so that is actually going to be a pretty late hatchery for him. It could be worse, it certainly could be worse, but a lot of Zerg players, like for instance, Coco would definitely prefer to just take the base at the third and then just get your natural a little bit later here. So not something that may, be a win-loss situation for LosirA, but it does make a bit of a difference early in the game.
And we have noticed that Zerg players, if this happens, will tend to just rush for their third hatchery pretty quickly as well. And well, let me even be what this drone is
right
for
now,
here in just a second. So
yep.
Nothing out of the ordinary, though, quite yet. Arthur has his photon cannon coming up, so we'll see a couple gas in a second. There they are. And everything is kind of moving according to PVZ plan.
Pretty much. So what are we going to see out of our Protoss player? Is it going to be something like Stargate tech? Is he going to go for some sort of gateway-centric +1 attack possibly? Generally, you do see players try to, well, I mean, I feel like you see a good mix of players who try to take a third on this map and go for 2-base all-ins as well. Being that, he is kind of the newer player to this Team League situation, I feel like he's going to be more inclined to do like a 2-base all-in. That's usually what we see. Nerves may be a factor here as well. But he does have some good options. I mean, Cloud Kingdom's a pretty good map for Protoss in terms of what you can choose to do.
And we'll see how LosirA wants to prepare for any such aggression. I mean, we've talked on this map. You just said that this is a pretty good map for Protoss players in terms of flexibility and things like that. They can decide to play for the later game by kind of bunkering up. The 2-base pressure works really, really well here as well. Overlord not going to be able to get too much further. Going to have to be content with sitting over the cliff here.
Yep. Until something flying comes along and finishes them off anyway. And will we see?
Speaking of flying things.
There it is. Yeah, Stargate. It's a good map for it. I tend to think that Stargate is one of the better ways to open as Protoss versus Zerg on this map. LosirA, though, should be able to scout it. In fact, I wonder if that Overlord's even in range of seeing it right now. It's going to be right on the edge if he's not. Yeah, all he needs to do is go a little bit farther. Doesn't want to risk the cannon, though. So that's actually a smart place to build a Stargate.
Yeah, because this one looks like it's already sacking itself. Should be able to get there in time. We do have a Stalker coming up. We'll see if it turns around. It is. So Stalker going to head back and try and clear this up. LosirA not really getting a beat on what his opponent is doing. Needs to start heading north pretty quickly to pick up on that.
Yeah, if he runs a Zergling up to the wall, he might be able to see it before the Zergling dies. But Arthur's doing a pretty good job of hiding his tech so far. LosirA going up to 10 Zerglings, actually. He's basically just saying, all right, I'm not seeing a lot with my Overlords. I need to make a couple extra Zerglings just so I can be everywhere on the map with 1 or 2 of them and see anything right as it's leaving his base. I mean, he knows he's not going to be able to get into the base to see what the tech is, so he needs to be able to see the units that come out of it as soon as possible. So that's a good response by LosirA to make a couple extra Zerglings in that case.
Macro hatch and 3 gas coming up now for LosirA, so going to start dropping
that's
down his tech structures here in just a second. Yeah, man. 15 of them sitting right there. Yeah. He did make, 6, I think, at the beginning of the game, so he hasn't lost one yet, so that's just all 16 of his Zerglings he's produced over the entire course of this match so far, and now he's finally going to make his way up to the top and seize the Stargate.
Yep, now he knows, and so he'll be able to start preparing for that. Having that amount of Zerglings out on the map, and there's the Evo Chamber starting right now in the production cube, and having that amount of Zerglings out on the map is good for finding forward pylons and taking those out before they become a problem, but it's also a good opportunity to make it a little bit tougher for your opponent to take a very greedy third if they had that in mind too. So it does use a little bit of larva. It will reduce his drone count a little bit, but at the end of the day, it should be okay. And in this situation, I think it was, again, kind of a good choice. Zergling speed on the way right now, +1 getting close to finishing up, so there will be some gateway units added onto this as well. And a Twilight Council, too. So I think, what do you think? Quick third and a quicker +2 then with this, along with some air aggression?
Yeah, it could very well be. I mean, it's there's certainly the possibility, depending on how much damage he does with these Phoenixes as well, that he could turn this into a 2-base +2. So we'll see what these Phoenixes can get done. Though the Spore Crawlers, unfortunately, are not finished yet. So a couple of Queens, couple of Overlords in danger of dying, and one Queen finally does go down. A few of these drones are going to fall as well, but now Spore Crawlers are up, and it's going to become a lot more risky proposition for these Phoenixes to get much damage done.
Yeah, they got up almost in time. Pretty good here. There's one Queen. Wow, that is a brave Phoenix. He's just like, I could take it. I'm the toughest Phoenix to ever be assembled in the Stargate. Oh, man, he's almost dead.
I'm not sure what's going on. I think what has happened, we can't see his hotkey right now, but he rallied his Phoenixes to the group of Phoenixes and then hasn't added it to the hotkey as well, which is why he didn't have enough energy for Graviton Beam, or so it appeared, because, I don't know, I'm speculating, but...
Well, a little bit of a roach push down here from LosirA, but it looks like Arthur should be able to defend this easily. Some Zerglings coming in as well. But yeah, with another warp in, I think he's going to be just fine. May not even need it. Yeah, just pushing back his Zergy opponent a little bit. And some of the roaches are not going to escape. Getting picked up pretty quickly here. So yeah, it looks like it is going to be another base and a quick +2 for Arthur, going for that longer game PVZ, getting Blink and a couple gateways as well. So he's going to move into a very strong late-game army. These Phoenixes are going to help him keep a lot of map control. And it's not too often that you see players make so many Phoenixes off of just one Stargate, too. So it's kind of a unique take on the expanded style, or a quick third from Arthur. Kind of cool.
And LosirA is actually pushing for that higher tech as well. Infestation Pit is well on the way now. Burrow already coming up, all the relevant upgrades that he needs, with the melee weapons as well to eventually move into that higher tech. Benefits, of course, both of the Tier 3 tech choices that you can make as a Zerg player, whether it be Broodlords or Ultralisks. So 4th base coming up for him as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, LosirA responding to a lot of air units like most Zergs would, taking a lot of bases at once, saying, all right, I mean, you can kill my units, you can kill my Queens and stuff with Phoenixes, but you can't kill my buildings. So might as well put down a couple hatcheries. The only problem for LosirA, though, is that soon there will be quite a few ground forces out for Arthur, and he's also getting that Robo Bay as well. LosirA trying to run some Zerglings in. That doesn't work. Yeah, turns around just in time here. And, I feel like LosirA is kind of fishing a little bit for something to do. I mean, keeps trying to poke in, can't really do damage. He's getting that higher tier tech going with the Spire and the Hive, but I don't know. I feel like LosirA is just, I feel like he's a little bit confused about what he should do right now. Everything's coming a little bit slower. So we'll see. My impressions of who is going to win this game is actually starting to shift a little bit. It seems like.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the additional buildings coming out here for LosirA in response. The old Mondragon list of counters. If your Protoss opponent throws up anything, it's Roach, except for Phoenix, and then you put up a hatchery. But anyway.
There you go.
Well, looks like Zergling's trying to test the front one more time, but of course Arthur is now sitting pretty comfortably on 3 bases. How many gateways does he have up? That's 5, and inside of the main, none. So just 5 gateways in a row for now.
Yeah, not a lot of gateways, which is kind of interesting.
This is kind of doubly interesting. Of course, we do have the War Prism M+3 coming out, but LosirA, is actually kind of playing this pretty right. He's just rushing for tier 3 tech at the moment, though. He's got a few infestors, but his opponent is making no move to push out or really do anything as far as map presence goes. So LosirA is just going to sit back and max as quickly as possible on Broodlords as he can.
Yep, that's the best idea to do. I mean, if you don't have a real plan as Zerg, and I mean, if you can't figure out a way to do damage too early, just sit back and get ready, you know? Sit back and try to max out, get your upgrades as safely and as quickly as possible. And Arthur's got a pretty strong army to worry about when he finally does move out on the map.
Okay, well, it's not going to hit quite quick enough, though, so, I mean, for LosirA, I should say, Arthur is starting to move out now. +3 weapons going to finish up momentarily. He also does have that Protest ground weapons level 3 just about to finish, and still pretty good air cover to make sure that he's able to pick up a few units. But LosirA does have quite a bit. Fungals most of those Phoenixes, as a matter of fact. A couple more getting picked up, and none of them have died. Fungal Grow's pinning a lot of units in place as well. LosirA is taking some damage. He hasn't been able to kill many of the units yet, but he has significantly weakened them and critically lowered that sentry count. Yeah,
I feel like if he can get rid of the rest of those sentries, he'll be okay, but that is so many Blink Stalkers for Arthur right now. This is looking a little bit tough. LosirA, unless he gets a big round of reinforcements here, may be in danger of losing this 4th base.
What is the drone count at? 89. So he still does have a pretty significant lead in overall army supply. There we go. Fungal Growth pinning down some of those Blink Stalkers, and Zerglings coming in to clean up a good bit of them. The Blink Stalkers continue to warp in, and we'll see if LosirA is going to have enough units here in a second to defend all of this.
Yep, he's going to need a lot of them, too. The Blink Stalkers circling around the back, or trying to. No, LosirA comes in now. That is a lot of Speedlings as well, and they do have pretty decent upgrades. They do even have Adrenal Glands, too, just tearing through those Stalkers. Blink doesn't help you that much in that case, and wow, LosirA tearing apart that army.
Yeah, at a moment when it looked like Arthur was going to be able to kind of catch him off guard, LosirA is able to crush that, sitting on 4 bases, and hasn't really taken any economic damage whatsoever. Now has more than double the supply of his opponent.
Yeah, the Fungals definitely helped a lot. Getting those Phoenixes out of the way early on was really nice for LosirA, but Arthur, you know, I feel like that position at some point he should have just kind of turned around. He was attacking into Spine Crawlers. There were Infestors there as well. Wasn't really doing the damage fast enough, but he tried to kind of press it, and it ended up kind of backfiring a little bit. So now we have a huge amount of Zerglings coming across the map from LosirA, and oh, he gets a surround on the sentries.
Oh, no.
that could be just it right there, man. I mean, losing those very expensive sentries. He's going to have almost nothing to defend this 3rd base once those force fields go down.
Yeah, a couple of Zealots up. There is a DT in the mix now, but this burrowed Zergling able to prevent a 3rd for so long. Not that it would have gotten up anyway in light of this attack, but it looks like an entire base may die here. And if Arthur goes down to 2 bases under 70 supply, I'm not sure what hope he has.
Yeah, exactly. GG. There it is. And LosirA taking a pretty convincing game 1. You know, I felt like in general, Arthur had a pretty good build going. I liked that he had, you know, a lot more